This is Sunday night, the 26th. My name is Jonathan Lewis, and this is me going live by myself. Join me while we wait for people to join us. And there we go. Stacy, you're the first one in. Stacy just wrote, "Hi, Jonathan," and everyone. But there's nobody. Oh, there's Catherine. So, Catherine, Stacy saying hello to you. Hey, Blonde 12U. Hey, Ticonderoga. Ticonderoga? I'm close enough. Close enough. Hey, Karen. Hey, Shelly. Welcome, welcome. How's everybody doing tonight? Hi. Hey, Linda. No, I didn't need a wake-up call, Catherine. Happy Sunday, Jen Ben. Hey, Beth. Hey, Mama. Mama Mandu. Starry-eyed Celestial. I'm doing well. Good evening. How are you as well? Okay, this is moving pretty quick. Maggie just said, "I've been catching all of your lives lately. I feel so lucky." That's really, thank you. That's nice to hear. I've been feeling lucky too that I caught them. It's like, oh shit, I gotta go live tonight. We've been all good tonight. I hope everybody's had a good evening or a good week. And like I always say, weekend's over. Do I have a time I go on TikTok, Catherine? No, TikTok is literally random. I only wanted to dedicate like a certain time frame for YouTube because that I feel like is my own platform on here. TikTok, I feel like I'm borrowing space and time. No, Linda, I do not have a number yet to call into. I don't. I will figure out something. Don't worry. Rebecca's not ready for the work week, so everybody knows. It's been really weird weather here. Like I put the heat on, and then the next day I have to put the air conditioning on, and then I put the air conditioning on, and then the next day I got to put the heat back on. So it's like a really so weird. Good to see you too, Falconer. Yeah, I got it right. Yeah, if my sons don't touch the thermostat, so if it's 100 degrees in the house, they'll fry. They're like the frog in the pot of water. It's like you might want to turn the AC on. They're like, oh yeah, we didn't think of that. It's like 95 degrees in the house. But yeah, I'm looking forward to. I have fall allergies, spring allergies, so I'm not looking forward to that. The trees are already budding. It's already affecting me a little bit, but it's not too bad. If anybody has seasonal allergies, you know what I'm talking about. So far, in my family, just me and my oldest son have them. We're the only two that have them. The other three don't have them at all. Hi from Ohio. Hey, Taylor. So here's what I'd like to do tonight. I would like to do some Q&A quick. I want to go get right into some stuff around the work. And then I want to do a reading, okay, like I did last week. If you guys haven't seen it yet, I've posted the reading from last week. I put it up. Kelly was nice enough to send in a quick, a post-reading validation. So I put a couple of those up for her reading. We're still waiting for the other stuff, but we'll see what happens. So Deborah wants to know, how many years has it been since you did in-person readings on Long Island? Trying to figure out how many years you've been having conversations. Long Island, the last, probably 2012, 2013, I think was the last live I did. Oh, wait. Oh, in-person readings? I thought you meant a group. That's even earlier. That was probably like, 2009? I don't know. I'm so bad at that. Some people are like, oh yeah, that was summer of 63. And I'm like, yeah, I don't even know what the heck that was. So I have no idea when the last time I did live readings, but it was a long time ago. But since you brought it up, I always wait for somebody to like come up with something around, I will be on Long Island in September. I'm doing a live event in Long Island or on Long Island, September 15th. So if you're on Long Island and you want to be at that, go check it out. Just tap the link in my bio, and it'll take you right to the page. You could look for the live events. Shameless plug, absolutely. Well, listen, if somebody's going to bring up something around Long Island or groups or New Jersey, or if somebody says something around Pennsylvania, or if they say something around, Baltimore about doing live events, I'm going to bring it up. I'm just going to bring it up. That's why we have a calendar, Linda. I can't do anything without a calendar. I never did a damn thing with a calendar. My whole life was off the cuff. Everything I did, I didn't want to have a calendar because I didn't want to schedule stuff. Because if I felt like I scheduled something, the year goes quicker, right? If I schedule something now for September, that makes me feel like now I'm like waiting for September to show up. So I hated scheduling. But now I have to do it. I have to do it. Drew, one. Drew just asked me how many fingers he's holding up. I thought I would give him the Jonathan Lewis answer. Just playing with you, Drew. So, as you guys know, I'm on a little bit of a rampage regarding the work and where it's at. Drew just wrote, he really is psychic. Thank you, Drew. I kind of had a funny feeling it would be that finger. It's good to joke around, right? That's incredible. That's funny. We don't mind the criticism, Drew. It's all Drew. Drew, it's okay. Ooh, that's a good one. Beyond Spirit Dog 11, how would you interpret a cell phone call from a deceased loved one? Well, you would definitely get my attention if that happened. I can understand getting like a message from them that they might have left sooner. Like, again, I'm very grounded when I do this work. I don't kind of look at the woo side of it. I always do want to see the like the practical side of things with a little touch of, spiritualism, because that to me is important. But getting a call from them, that's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Do I think that actually happened? No, I actually don't think that happened. But it doesn't matter because it actually happened. And I don't know if you were catching my drift there. Do I think they actually made the phone call? No, I don't. But I do think something happened to make that happen so that you would get that phone call when you got it from their phone number. So hypothetically, if that number, I'm not saying you gave up that number, but what if that number went to somebody else, they're telling me it didn't. Just look at that as their way of setting things up. It's no different than finding a quarter. If your dad always left you quarters, and you'd say, oh, one of my symbols for my dad is a quarter, and you're walking in some wood path somewhere in the woods, the odds of finding a quarter are very slim, right? But then you find one. You go, oh my God, that's my dad, right? Well, do you think your dad, dropped the quarter there? No, he didn't. But somebody else did. Somebody that was walking that path that day or that week somehow went in their pocket for something and dropped that quarter right where you were going to find it. So that is all orchestrated. So whether, that person made the phone call or not, it doesn't really matter. The fact is you got the phone call, and that means it was real. So I hope that describes it a little better than I was saying in the beginning. I remember that movie. The old movie Frequency is so good. Yeah, is that the movie with Don't say it, because I'm really getting bad at this and I want to get better at it. I was remembering actors' names. Shit, I know it's an actor that has him and his brother are both actors, right? Oh my God, this is terrible. Never mind, just forget it. It's a good movie. I can't remember his name. Dennis Quaid, thank you. Yes, that's the guy. Yeah, the two brothers. I know it's Dennis Quaid and the other Quaid. The Quaid brothers. Yes, getting old sucks, Stacey. Getting old sucks. Oh boy, crazy. I had a couple of topics to talk about, but I can't remember where I put them. I mean, talk about getting old. Hold on one second. Don't go anywhere. I think I wrote it down over here somewhere. Oh, I found it. I found it. Let's see. Okay, so based on some readings I've been doing lately, I always wanted to let people know, like, I'm sure a lot of you want to go for readings at some point or have readings by, done by professional mediums. And it doesn't matter who you go to. What I would like to do real quick is just explain or kind of like get in your heads about what to expect when you go for a reading, okay? Because there's a lot of things that I recognize or I have seen over the years where I'm going to say that people will fixate on their desired connections. That's a big one. So if you're going to a real medium, you have to stay open to everybody and anything that can come through. When I say anything, I mean anything. Anything that had like a life here can come through. Any type of animal or pet that was connected to the family. It doesn't matter if it was a chameleon or even a tarantula, because I did have a tarantula come through in a reading once. So be aware that the fact that when you open up energetically, you cannot, I mean, we do that here, like we ask for somebody to step forward, but I always make it really clear, that doesn't mean I'm going to get that person. That's just me being nice and being kind of like in a courteous way asking, hey, can you come forward for the person that we're reading? And then they have to provide us with information and validate it's them, right? But it doesn't always happen that way. Matter of fact, most of the time it doesn't happen that way. When we do private readings, we have to be open to everybody. And the thing I like to tell people is I want you to imagine we're on a roof together. You and I are just standing on a roof. And we have a ladder. And the ladder goes from the ground up to the second floor roof. And people are going to be climbing that ladder. And if somebody gets to the top of that ladder, and they're not the ones we want to hear from, I mean, what are we going to do? Like kick them off the roof? Are we going to like push them off the ladder because we don't want to hear from them? We kind of like have to acknowledge that person that's coming through at the moment. Because guess what? They're blocking the ladder. So other people that are coming up behind them that want to climb up to the roof and say hello can't, because we have to go through that person first. So think of it that way. And why do those people come through as opposed to the ones we might want to hear from? Because they can. Because they can. We might have a particular, request that, we got to hear from our mom. We just want to hear from our mom. I've done plenty of readings where somebody who wanted to talk to their mom never came through. I've read them 2 or 3 times. Their mom does not come through. Other people do. Their dad will come through, their cousins, maybe even their siblings that have passed will come through, but their mom didn't. And how do I know that? Because the 4th reading, their mom took over the whole reading. And then at the end they said, oh my God, I've been waiting for 4 readings for this to happen. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, every reading I've done, my mom never came through, and I always wanted to talk to my mom. And sure enough, tonight, my mom did the whole reading and took over. And I say, well, everything happens for a reason. So try to stay open to who is showing up for you, because that energy or person could pull through who you want to hear from. And they could do it with a name. They could do it with a date. They could do it with what they passed from, a health issue. They could do it with something around what they did for a living. That's how they pull them in. Like, hey, who's the accountant connected to your uncle? Oh, that's my dad. Boom, dad's coming in, okay? So always stay open to who's coming through for you, because guys, it goes way outside the family. I mean, I think our guides and I think our guides keep it to a certain place, because the reality is anybody that you were tethered to in this lifetime or your family was tethered to in this lifetime does have the option of coming through. The problem is we're not going to know who they are. Like my dad's best friend's brother, I'm not going to know who that is, but technically he could come through. He could come through. We just don't want to acknowledge it because it's not our connection. But remember, string theory, everybody's connected and linked. I do believe in that. So if it's an uncle that you don't like and they're showing up, acknowledge them. Yes, if you know your ancestry, Catherine just wrote, if you know your ancestry, it helps a lot. It does help a lot. It really, really does. And it's not about you trying to get as much information in there as possible to make it easier for the medium. It's about helping the flow. Because if, say, your mom's coming through and you know your ancestry really well, your mom could use that as tools to validate that she's the one coming through. That's why it's important. Okay? Well, welcome, Butch. Butch has said, I'm watching, but I'm a skeptic. Absolutely, I'm totally fine with that. I appreciate you being here. I'm a skeptic too, actually. That's why I'm on YouTube and not TikTok right now. I can't stand what's going on over there. Your mom's making me feel, she's making me feel happy about, I'm like, "Bleh." Like, can we just get to some factual information, please? Hey, Sharon. Um, all right, let's do a couple quick questions. You're welcome, Lolaza. Lolazette? My glasses are not working. Lolazette. You're more than welcome. It's my pleasure. I love doing what I do, but I also love having fun, and I also love joking around, and I also love being serious when I have to be. But I also don't take this so seriously that I have to act a way that's not me. I'm not doing that ever again moving forward. So what you see is what you get. If I don't like what I see, I'm going to say it. If I like what I see, I'm going to say it. If I want to say something a certain way, guess what? I'm going to say it because that's who I am. So I just don't believe that this work needs to have you be a certain way. Everybody says like, even when it comes to politics or it comes to other things, they're like, stay in your lane, stay in your lane. I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you, stay in your lane. If it's something's affecting me in my life, I'm going to talk about it. If something's coming up around me, I will always have an energetic spin on it because that's how I live my life. But don't tell me to stay in my lane. And you have to have compassion. So Sandy just wrote, you're always very kind when you're reading someone. Why not? What's the point of not being kind? I might be a little stern at times. Oh, I did a reading. I was going to talk about this a few weeks ago. Actually, it was a few weeks ago now. Yeah. The first thing that she said when she got on is, I said, well, I said, have I ever read you before? She said, no, you've never read me before. And I said, okay, great. And she said, I'm just letting you know that I have a lot of trickster energies around me that pretend to be my family when they're coming through. I said, excuse me? She goes, I have a lot of trickster energies around me that pretend to be my family when they're coming through. I'm like, who told you this? She's like, well, I had a couple of readings done. I'm like, stop right there. I go, I need you to erase absolutely everything you heard from those people right now. I said, or I have to cancel this reading. And she goes, cancel it. I was like, absolutely. I go, if you're going to come to the reading thinking that trickster energies are going to pretend to be your family, I go, then we're not really going to be able to do this because I don't allow any of that shit in my readings. Like, I either get who's coming through or not. And I said, well, what gave that away like that? And everything that she was giving me around this, and I wanted to make sure that she didn't give me any information around who passed, but she started to blabble it out. Like literally like it was like no big deal. Like, well, my mom, I'm like, well, how do I didn't know your mom passed. Why would you tell me that? And it was like recognizing that whoever she was being read by before was extrapolating and information from her throughout the whole reading. And then when they weren't getting information right, they were pretending it was trickster energies instead of saying, I'm full of shit. So I was just completely blown away. And I got really, really stern with her. That's why I'm bringing this up because I got so stern. I had to knock her out of that thinking. I'm like, listen, moving forward, that's not how you're going to think anymore. Like if you're sitting with me, we're reading and we're getting your family coming through and that's it. She's like, oh, okay, all right, all right. And sure enough, they came through fine, no problem. But it's a little scary out there. The lack of ability I'm watching from people and the way they're compensating for it is very dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. And there's more and more of them by the day. By the day. They're in truckloads now. They're just coming in and I'm a psychic medium. And I'm like, no, you're not. You are not. Like, I want to go like, you're not a medium. You're not a medium. You're not a medium. But then I get accused of being, gatekeeping or something like that, which is just not true. My job is to, I've always said I work for who's passed. When I do a reading for somebody, they're paying me for my time. They're not paying me for my ability. They're paying me for my time. The job's priceless. That's how I feel about it. Like to be able to make that connection for them, it's priceless. I love that part. So I work for the people who have passed. I don't work for the people that are living. And I think that a lot of people that are doing this work right now are just not thinking like that at all. They're thinking more about, where do I get my next car? Or, stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know. And there's a lot of part-time mediums on here. Not on this app too much, but on TikTok. And it's getting dangerous. I just feel it's getting dangerous. So just be aware of that kind of stuff. All right. And I wrote down here, commitment to information. That's one of the biggest things that I think you need doing this work too, is to be able to be committed to what you say. You can't say it in a way of like, do you think maybe your mom's got something like maybe she's got a, you think? Like that's no good. You got to have commitment to what you're saying. Like say it and own it. That's how your guides will know that you're coming from the right place and that you're not going to flip on them. Because what if you need to get certain information that person does not want to hear? But you got to make sure you get that point across, or that information across to them. If you're going to read for somebody because you want to make them feel good, you shouldn't be doing this work. My job's not to make you feel good. My job is to make sure you get the message or the information that's coming through to validate the survival of consciousness. That's my job. I'm not here to make you smile. Catherine's like, I'm dying over here. Well, I appreciate the compliments. I really do. This is nice to hear, actually. Yeah, truth sometimes hurts. It does. And you're going to have a problem with somebody when you're reading them, when you just know they're the problem. Like, if their mom comes through or their dad comes through and starts talking about the family and say there's 5 kids in the family, and, the one that I'm talking to is like the black sheep or the one that nobody else wants to talk to. I'm like, well, they can't all be wrong. So it's like you're either gonna own up to this a little bit, and we're gonna like kind of help shift things by shifting how you look at stuff or how you deal with things, or we're not. But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you like, oh my God, all those 17 people they're all stupid, don't know anything. You're the one that's right. I don't think so. So you have to be willing to listen to what's coming through for you as well. Okay? What do I think about channeling? Taekwondo. I tried to say this name before too. Taekwondo. What do you think about channeling? Well, technically, that's what mediumship is channeling. So if you mean like direct channeling, like I'm not a big fan of that. I don't want anybody entering my body. So that's not happening. We're not doing that. You shouldn't have to channel. I know there's a lot of, again, mediums out there on TikTok that are talking about, channeling people that are coming through. And I don't want to say this the wrong way because you guys are going to laugh. So hold on a second. It is trans mediumship. I think that's what it's called. Trans mediumship, where you actually, like, your body's entered by the spirit and then that spirit takes over. And people will talk about that all the time. And I'm always like, why do you have to do that? Like, well, why can't they just talk to you the way we normally do, through symbols and signs? Why do they have to come into your body? Like, why would you want that? I think somebody's watching a little too much movies and TV. That's what I think. Yes, Gabrielle, I do tarot all the time. I don't do it for readings, but I like to dabble in tarot. Some channel aliens. See, Takandra, that's my problem. How do you validate that? How do you validate that they're channeling an alien? Like, and that's my problem with this work when people can't validate the information that's coming through. Like, you have to be able to validate it through factual information. That's the whole point of it. Like, anybody could say, oh, your mom's passed. She's here. She's standing behind you. She's stroking your hair, telling you that she loves and misses you. She thinks you're amazing. She's so proud of everything you've learned. You've been through a lot. Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Great. You just made their day. But did you do the job for them? No, you did not. You just basically blew smoke at them and then told them it was wonderful. Ah, man. Let's see. Oh, what was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Oh, the other thing I want to talk about is AI quick. Just be aware of AI content. Here's how you know if somebody's using AI, okay? When they make a post It is like the most profound thing. It is well written. It is well said. They're standing in front of the camera and they're talking with big words and they're making la 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 la, right? And then when you watch them do a live or they do something else that's not pre-recorded, they sound like a bumbling idiot. They do. They just sound like a bumbling idiot. And it's like, wow, that does not match up. Like you should at least sound a little bit like your posts when you talk, you know? That's a big giveaway right there. So I feel like when people, that's why I always say be very careful who you pick as a medium, because the philosophy of the work is so easy to look up or to translate and put into words and then write it down and say a post around it. It's easy to do that. It's easy to do that part. A lot of this work is kind of like, correlates with other parts of this work. Like there's certain aspects that you can't change. There's different ways of saying it, but it's kind of all the same. That's why everybody says, like, when are you going to write a book? I'm like, what for? There's like 1,000 books out there all saying the same shit with different words. So what's another one going to do? There's no need for it. There's absolutely no need for it. So when somebody's putting up a post and all they're doing is posting the philosophy of the work, but you're not seeing their work, you have to question that. Big question mark right above your head at that moment. Like, that's interesting. They want me to pay for a reading. They want to advertise their readings, but they're not showing me that they read. So why would you go to them? Hey, Dee. Oh, that's okay. So Cloud Dreamer just wrote, Jonathan Lewis, please focus on what you can do and not what others are doing. It sounds pretentious and whiny at the same time. Why would you say that? That's hurting my feelings. It's not whiny and pretentious. It's factual. My job is not just to do the work. My job is to make sure that you're well informed of what's out there. And if I've been doing this job for 20 years now and I've watched it go like this, then my job is to point that out. I have no problem getting readings. I have no problem selling out my groups. I don't need to talk about myself. So I want to make sure that you're aware of what's out there. That's why I'm doing it, okay? And now I'm going to do it more. Yeah, that's okay. And again, I have no problem with what you said. We're all good here. But I really do believe that. I'm spending the time in these last month or whatever to kind of point out certain things because it really is getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. All right. All right, let's do a couple of questions regarding the work, and then I'm going to get right into a reading, okay? And let's really be clear. When somebody's asking those kind of questions, it's usually coming from a place of insecurity. So, Chris, is there a support group for mediums that are good? I don't think so. My problem with all of this work is it's supposed to be spiritual, right? And I feel like these people would all cut each other's throats to get ahead if they could. I really do. They might preach the community and the let's get together and we're all friends, kumbaya. But if one of them starts doing better than the other, oh my God, it's like the world's gonna fall apart. So I don't think that a lot of people that are doing this work are evolved at all. I don't. I think they're almost like borderline root chakra, like, so to me, it's kind of like, again, be wary of who you're working with. If you don't have self-awareness doing this work, then you shouldn't be doing it. Yeah, there's a lot of bickering going on right now on TikTok. A lot of bickering. This one's mad at that one's not doing this right. And then there's a couple of mediums out there that are taking money from people and not doing the readings. And then all the other mediums are calling them out, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But you know why they're calling them out. It's to show that they're not that, right? Or, this is making us all look bad. But then again, I've watched you read and I don't think that's helping either way. So. Welcome to Fruit Loop. Okay. Okay. Deb, I have to read this. Deb, I read several mediums had a touch with electricity, like being struck by lightning. Did this happen to you? No, definitely not. Um, but I'm not going to say things traumatic don't trigger it. I think that could happen. People talk about living their lives through a traumatic way, and I think a lot of times when you're going through a lot of trauma, you end up talking to yourself a lot. I think that when you go through a lot of traumatic experiences in life where you have to like be this person a lot, you end up having conversations with yourself and talking to yourself. You're actually learning how to have conversations with your higher self. So, being electrocuted, that could be traumatic on a physical level. I don't know how that would jumpstart mediumship. I don't. I don't know how it would jumpstart that. But I'm not going to say no to it because I can't. Like I say, I'll always talk about what I know about, and what I know about is based on my readings that I've done over the years. Being electrocuted would be in my other field, which would be building, which is my day job. And far as I know, anybody that's been electrocuted, the only thing I've ever heard out of their mouth after was, holy shit, because that's what it feels like. I have been touched with a direct 220 line. It's not fun, but I don't. That was way after I was doing this work. So yes, I was just thinking of that movie, Wildfire, the Age of Adeline. Yeah, that was a cool movie. That was with Harrison Ford, I think, right? See, there's a lot of stuff out there. Like people said, that somebody wrote a book about it and everything like that. There's a lot of stuff out there. So if you want to check into that, you can. I personally can't talk about it because I can't experience that. So I can go read somebody else's book and say, yes, there's been cases of blah blah blah, but I haven't experienced it. And I do think a lot of things around the work in general, just in metaphysics, is based on opinion. It's subjective. So uh, okay, quick story. When I was probably 13 or 14 years old, in my house growing up, we had a laundry room, and yes, they had those back then. And on one side of the room was the washer and dryer, and on the opposite side of the room was the deep freezer. And a lot of times when you wanted to be private on the phone, because we had the phone with the curly cord, that would go, we talked about this last time I was on here, that stretched across the whole hallway. You would go into the laundry room and you would shut the door and you would have your conversation. But if you put your back up against the deep freezer, there was a short in the cord. So the cord was touching the actual metal of the freezer. And back in those days, they didn't have all the protection stuff they have today. And if your foot, without your shoes on, if you had a bare foot and you touched the dryer, you would get a shock. So it would literally run right through your body. So it wasn't that bad. Like you just knew it was there or you didn't do it. Well, one day my mother was in the laundry room doing, I guess, laundry. And we heard this scream like a lion was jumping out of their skin. And sure enough, she had touched both sides and the electricity ran right through her. So that was scary. That was a scary moment. But yeah, every once in a while I'd be sitting at the thing and you feel your foot get zapped. Like, what the hell? Like, and we always think like, what's the big deal back then, right? It's crazy. Today it's like, oh my God, the world's gonna collapse if you get a shock. But back then it was like, it's no big deal. Suck it up. You're fine. Boy, how things have changed. Catherine, have you ever had another medium read you? Yes. Yeah, a couple. Here's the thing too. When a medium reads another medium, it's not what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like it's almost like perfect, like it's so clear and accurate because mediums should have, that kind of a connection, right? But you want to know the truth? It's the opposite. It's the actual opposite because a medium should know better. A medium should know how information comes through and what it means for them. So the other medium, instead of getting all this like stuff where it's got to be super clear, they could literally get like, I don't know, I'm seeing like blue with an envelope and turtles around something with like a car, right? That's all you'll get. Like, and then you're supposed to go like, oh, I know what that means. That's this, right? Because I know what that means for me. So we're supposed to be better at interpreting so they don't have to work so hard. So watching a medium read another medium is kind of funny. Now, there are a lot of mediums out there that feel because they're mediums that their reading should be super clear. And I'm letting you know that's not the case. If you're a medium, you should be better at interpreting what's coming through for you. So it doesn't have to be as clear or wow. You just have to know what it is. That's where the ego comes in play. Yeah, we did cover this. All right, Kara. So I'm repeating myself. I apologize. God. All right. Kate, okay, spit it out. How many times did you get shocked intentionally? I never did it intentionally, but if you're on the phone and you're not thinking, you're just like, oh, in my foot. Oh, you just feel it. So you say, oh, I better not do that again. And then you do it again the next time. So if I haven't said it yet tonight, I appreciate you guys being here. You know I'm going to be going live on Sunday nights here at 9 p.m. I'll be doing a reading in a couple minutes here on the chat. What? Used to make each other pass out? I always wanted to do one of those. You ever watch it on the? I was going to say on the YouTube. That's how old people say it. My God. When they do the taser. You know, when they do the taser and people have to stand up and they're holding them and they get shocked with the taser, it's like something they have to go through in order to get their certificate for something, which I think is crazy. But I get a kick out of that, man. The things that come out of people's mouths when they do that. Pet rocks, Gabrielle. Pet rocks were great back then. That was the 70s. Police department, I had to be sprayed with pepper spray. What is that? Yeah, cop training, right? I guess they want you to know what it's going to be like. So before you pull that trigger on somebody, you know what it feels like. I guess it'll make sure you make the right decision when the time comes. Dawn, are you more sensitive to batteries, watches, remotes, things that have energy? Do you think that may go with being more intuitive? I personally have not had an issue with stuff like that. I don't blow things out. You know, it's like I don't have that. So for me, no. So D, there's no cue on here. You just have to when the time comes, which we're gonna do right now. You just have to be ready to get read. That's it. I'm going to pick somebody randomly. Okay, so let's just do this. Again, I posted the reading from last week, which is kind of boring to watch because it's just me talking to myself, to be honest. I love having somebody else's voice on there or their face, but unfortunately with this app, I can't do that yet. So I do have the reading up, and Kelly was really nice and sent in a follow-up validation, post-reading validation, covering a couple of things that came up in the reading that she could not validate at the time. So if you get a chance, go take a look at that. And, you know, I'll do that whenever I can. You guys are already doing it. I can watch. I don't have my glasses on. I can tell. I can see somebody wrote mom, dad. Yeah, just write down who you want to connect with. You guys know how this works. I'm being really lazy about this because if somebody's on here that's new, they're not going to know what the hell I'm doing. So real quick, I like to do direct readings. I don't like to do spirit-led. I never heard of spirit-led till I got on TikTok. I don't like doing it because I don't believe in throwing out a bunch of information and then waiting for somebody to grab it and then generalizing the information after that. To me, that's not a real reading. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask somebody directly to come forward. Okay, so just write down who you would like to connect with. Mom, dad, son, brother, husband, boyfriend, whoever it is that you would like to connect with. I'm going to randomly pick you when I put my glasses on. I'm going to pick whoever I see first, okay? So just keep typing until I do that. Once I pick you, I'm going to ask everybody else to stop typing because that is key on the chat, okay? Once everybody stops typing, I'm going to ask who I picked to just write back yes in capital letters. When you write back yes in capital letters, that signifies to me, your guides and my guides, that we're going to make a link or a connection. Then I'm going to ask who you wanted to connect with to come forward. Stay open though, because it's really a crapshoot when I do that. I'm hoping they step forward, okay? But I might get somebody else. That's the truth, okay? I might say like, oh, dad, okay, we'll hopefully get dad. But I might get grandfather, I might get grandmother, I might get an aunt, I might get a neighbor. I don't know who's gonna come through for you, but stay really open because if we can validate who they are, they could pull through who you wanna hear from, okay? And remember, names are important, dates are important, health issues, incidents around passing, current events, what they did for a living, anything that they can come through with to validate it's them, okay? And that's how we do it here. All right, hold on, I'm gonna pick somebody quick. Oh, 5 down, 1 5 down. Christine, grandma. So Christine wrote, it's VL3VH, grandma, Christine. And I'm gonna write this down because I'm gonna forget. Christine, grandma. So I need everybody else to stop typing for a second. I just need Christine to write yes and she already did it. Okay, I'm way behind on you guys here. All right, so everybody else stop typing for a second. Christine just wrote grandmother. I'm gonna see if I can make a connection, okay? Hold on a second, Christine. I'm gonna open up to you. Okay, I do have a mom energy, but she's accompanied by a male energy first. So hold on, the male wants to say hello first. I have an older male first, so think father, grandfather, uncle, okay? But older male. He's making me feel like he passed very quickly, and he makes me feel like he passed at home. This is not somebody who passed at a hospital. So they're showing me passing at home. Who would that be for you? I just need the connection. This feels heart related, but I feel like we're not sure what it was. Like there was no autopsy done. We're not sure exactly how they passed. But it's uncle? Okay. And where would Pat be for you, Christine? And because we're typing, it's either Pat, Patty, Patricia, Pat, P-A-T. They want me to talk about somebody connected to you like with the name Pat. Patty, Patricia. I could take Pete because it's a PT name. I do screw that up once in a while, but I prefer if it was Pat. Your mom's secretary? All right, perfect. Okay. So hold on. Pat's living then. And where would be the 3 children total too? Current. They want me to talk about the 3 kids. Okay, they're telling me you do. I'm not being contrarian. I'm letting you know that they're telling me you know this. So I don't know if Pat has the 3 kids or, oh wait, grandpa. Okay, that's it. All right, they tell me you knew this. That's why I didn't want to be a pain in the neck. So that's why I felt like wanted me to talk first. So if the uncles, wait, the grandpa that had the 3 kids, is the uncle on the other side of the family? That's just a yes or a no, just so I know where to place him. But they're making me feel like I want to put the uncle on the other side of the family, the one that passed quickly at home. Like they're not connected to this grandpa. They're in my they are in my grandpa's side. So they're on the same side of the family? Okay, hold on. And what would be the 4th of a month, Christine? They tell me to talk about the 4th of a month being important. It's around a birthday, I think. So right now I'm just reading Christine, so I need everybody else not to type. One of his children? Okay. So the 4th of a month's connected to one of his children. Okay, that's what I need. And, oh. Do you have a, he wants me to talk about somebody having a pilot's license or they fly an airplane around you. So, okay, so again, because we're typing, this to me would be a pilot. This is not somebody who travels a lot. This is somebody who works around airplanes or something to do with airplanes. So he's showing me like they're either a pilot or they work at an airport or they worked on planes. Welcome and able to rise. Right now I'm just reading Christine, or I think we're making a connection with 3 people so far, but I'm not. Yes, Uncle Living. Okay, so he's making a reference to that person as well, saying hello to them. And he's telling me to talk about Vivian. Who's Vivian? It sounds like Vivian. Viola, Vivian. That came out of nowhere, so I'm not sure. I don't know if that uncle's connected to Vivian or you're connected to Vivian. Hi, Happy Aura Helpers. That is ex-boyfriend's mom, very religious, don't know why she is entering. That's why I said she came out of nowhere. There's like, talk about Vivian. Now, the reason why Vivian's coming in, or they're highlighting Vivian, is because you have a connection to her. That's the only reason why. It's factual. It's not about them saying hi or they're popping in. They're letting you know you're the, that's why I said it's connected to you somehow. It's your grandfather's way of letting me know I have him because it makes sense for you, all right? Now, he's also telling me that there's a birthday right now. He's telling me right now, so it had to be like a week past or a week coming up. So end of, we're at the end of April. So I would take the first week of May or like the last week or week and a half of April. He's telling me a birthday connected around the family just happened. Or it's coming up right now. Because I'm hearing happy birthday. So that means it's like, it's got to be around this time frame. His son? Okay, cool. So let his son know. You wrote his name, Michael, so I'm not going to say I know it. Was there ever a story about, they're showing me like around an older woman, a story about like a jawline that was like swollen, or like the jawline was swollen out? It's like, I don't know if somebody had like a surgery done on their jaw, or they had cancer of the jaw, or it's just feeling like right here, like something like where the jaw was blown out, like it was like, whoa, what happened to you? But they're showing me that. I don't know where that goes. I don't know if it's connected to somebody that you want to hear from, but they're highlighting it. Like a story around a jawline, like being big or like swollen for some reason. Not both, because I feel like when somebody gets their teeth pulled, it's both sides. You know, they have like the chipmunk look for a little while. It's not about getting your teeth pulled. It's about like a surgery or somebody had an infection in their jaw. Or somebody punched them in the jaw. I would take that too, because it's feeling like it's got nothing to do with molars or wisdom teeth. My Uncle Mike, his son had surgery. Okay, that's it. So just know they're bringing up the Mike or the uncle, and they're talking about his son. That's your grandfather's way of coming through it. Now, he's got the mom energy with him, which would be the grandmother for you. She wants me to talk about somebody being, like, are you a phenomenal swimmer, Christine? She's telling me to talk about somebody on your level, female, that's supposed to be really known for swimming, or they're really good swimmers or healthy swimmers. Like when somebody says, hey, be careful, that's a really rough current out there. You're like, it's like, no problem, I can swim that. It's got that feeling to it. So I don't know if somebody took like was really big into swimming lessons, or they were a swimmer, but she's bringing that up. And I don't think it was somebody that was like a lifeguard. I'm not feeling like they did it for a job. I just feel like they were known for their swimming. Like they were really strong swimmers. It's my grandpa's son alive, his granddaughter, Athena. Okay, now, I don't mean to be a pain in the neck about this, but okay, it's my grandpa's son, his son who's alive, his granddaughter, Athena. Is she like on a swimming team? Or like there's something about her, if she's a really good swimmer, they would tell me female, but there's something about her that's like better than the average. It's like what highlights her as being a good swimmer? She's athletic. I don't know. Hold on a second. I'm not getting a no on that. I'm just asking them to kind of add to it. Okay, I can. Athena, LOL, boasts. Oh, she boasts about it. How good of a swimmer she is. That I can take. I appreciate you saying that. Okay, I just don't want to be like, oh yeah, she's a good swimmer because she's athletic. So if she boasts about being a really good swimmer, also currently, oh, there's your grandmother. Hold on. I have the older female. She wants me to talk about somebody also recently dealing with something around uterus or cervical. Somebody either dealing with like a cyst, like an ovarian cyst, or what is this? Like endometriosis. Endometriosis. Okay, so you're currently dealing with that right now. Do you know if they were talking about your endometrium or something around the endometrium? Because I don't want to say you have endometriosis. I'm not saying that, but there's a feeling of like polyps around, like in the uterus or the ovaries. Because it doesn't feel like a big deal. I mean, not that it's not a big deal. I shouldn't say that, but it's feeling like you're okay. Yes, okay. And yeah, endometriosis biopsy. Okay, that's what they're showing me. So if you were just dealing with that, that's your grandmother's way of popping in to say hello. She's also telling me to talk about the 28th of a month. It's going to be done on May 5th. That will be the celebration that's coming up too. All right, that makes sense. I'm letting you know, like it feels fine to me. Like you're going to go in, you're going to go out. It's going to be like, that's going to be it. Like no big deal. Um, of course, stick a man on that table and they'll like scream bloody murder. But I'm just letting you know, like from a woman's perspective, they're making me feel like it's not a big deal. From a guy's perspective, it's probably the worst thing ever. Uh, and she's telling me the 28th of a month has a meaning, like the number 28, 28. So it's either birthday and anniversary or somebody's currently 28 years old, but she's bringing that up too. Christine, LOL, it's true. Listen, I admit it. I admit it. We're a bunch of wimps. And I appreciate you guys watching this and being on here for this. Christine, we'll take note with the 28. Okay, just remember the number 28 has a meaning. Again, it could be a birthday and anniversary. It feels more like a celebration, not a negative, so it's not a passing, but there is something around the 28. And she wants me to talk about having more than one issue before she passed. So, wait, Dad's birthday on November 30th. No, I can't take 30 because that's not 28. So she's telling me 28, okay? Now, it could be connected to your ex. Just, you talked about a boyfriend's mother, right? That was coming through. So just remember, like, keep open around it. She just showed me 28 has a meaning for you somewhere. And she's also telling me to talk about having more than one issue before she passed. So your grandmother makes me feel like she was dealing with two things. Who needed the oxygen? She showed me, told me needing oxygen before they passed. Like somebody had a tank with them, or they had a tank at some point. I don't feel like they're. This with me would be like COPD, like really bad COPD or emphysema. And that could be male or female. I'm not saying it's female, but she's the one talking about it. She is showing me though two issues on her though. Just waiting for Christine to respond. She died of cancer. Okay, if it was lung cancer, I would take it. If it, don't say what it is. If it was lung cancer, I would take it because that would be lungs. Um, but they're making me feel like I want to highlight or talk about somebody needing like an oxygen tanker. So yes, with the O2. Oh, okay. Uh, mm, she had something else too. She might have had cancer, but she had something else she was dealing with. She's making me feel like if she had the cancer, there were things getting in the way of it that were not cancer related, like things that were going on with her that were getting in the way of it. So I don't know if she had like a thyroid problem or diabetes or something else, but she showed me more than one issue. So I see the O2, I get it. So there's definitely a reference to oxygen or needing oxygen around her. But like if she had like bladder cancer, I'm not going to take that because that doesn't make sense to me. It would have to be lung cancer. So I can't take the cancer for the O2 unless it was affecting her lungs. But I can take the reference to two separate issues if she had it. She's just showing me when they tap me with like this. They'll go like this or they'll go like this. Like two fingers means like dealing with more than one issue, two issues around her passing. Um, and who's Julie for you? I'm sorry, I'm throwing too much at you at once. I keep forgetting that we're typing here. She showed me like Jules, or Julie. Oh no, did you? Okay, don't know of yet, Julie. Okay. Um, they're not dropping it. So hold on a second. Did anybody work at a jewelry store? I'm seeing jewels, Julie. That's what I'm seeing. But sometimes it could be the reference to actually somebody working. I don't mean somebody who liked jewelry or wore jewelry, but if somebody made jewelry or worked in a jewelry store, I could take that. So it's a reference to what they did. Yes, she did. My grandma is an expert. She sells. Perfect. That's what I needed. So she's showing me jewelry. That's what I was seeing. So a lot of times I'll go with the name Jewel or Julie if that's not it. And I will feel if it's not it. Like if you say no, but I hear yes right after that, I'm going to push you for it. But they made me feel like no. So then I went to like, okay, then it's got to be around the jewelry. So she sells the jewelry. All right, perfect. All right, she's got another mom with her that could pop her teeth out. I don't think she could, but she's got a mom energy with her that could. So I don't know if it's like a sister for her. She would show me how to spot the fake jewelry. All right, that's cool. Yeah, I'm getting when I hear that's like they're showing me somebody being able to pop their teeth out, and it also feels like another female or a woman. Her twin sister. Perfect. Okay. Just know that's her way of coming through to say hello, okay? Because she's like, I got another one with me. And it felt like on the same level. And she's going like, yeah, this is me. And she's popping her teeth out. All right. So no, that's your grandfather came through, brought through the grandmother and her sister. Your uncle came through as well. I think there was a couple others. I'm not sure. But, oh, I think your boyfriend's mom, I think you were talking about. But I hope this helped a little bit, okay? Just know that your grandmother's around and saying hello, okay? And for anybody else that's watching, just know that your family's there too, of course. If anybody relates to anything that came through tonight, you can take it because you're watching for a reason. It's not your reading, but you can take it as a wink or hello from your family on the other side as well, okay? Um, oh, you're welcome, Christine. It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. Guys, it's, let's see, what time is it? I got a couple minutes left, so yeah, this is what I like to do on here. And I told you, I was on TikTok the other night, and I was talking about a guy who was on TikTok. His name was, and nobody likes to say names. They always go like, well, there's this person on here that does this. And I'm like, I don't really give a shit. His name is Jesse King. I don't know if you ever heard of him, but I think he's from England or something like that. And man, this guy talks up a storm right out his ass. And he was talking, one of the things that he said to spot a fake medium was if they're doing live readings on a platform. And I just laughed out loud. And he's like, it's impossible for a medium to do a live reading on a platform like this, on social media. And I'm like, basically, you're telling me you can't do it. That's all. But what a blowhard. I got to say, what a blowhard. So just avoid that person as much as possible. Clearly, they don't want anybody doing anything with them unless they're booking a reading with them so they could probably do their little magic, magic voodoo stuff on them or whatever they're doing. But, doing a live reading on a platform is probably the best example of how a medium can show their work or demonstrate their work, because there's no way to prepare for it. There's no way to fake it. It's just boom, here it is. Okay. Especially in a chat like this, which is probably the most difficult. But that being said, there's only a few people that actually put their readings up, that show their readings or do them. Every reading I have up on my social media, I did on social media. I don't have any readings up that I did privately. Not even groups that I've done privately. I don't put any of that stuff up because those are private. So other people, when they're doing this work or they're talking about doing this work, and I'm going to bring up why this is important, they'll talk about their readings. They'll share stories about their readings, but they don't put up any examples of their readings at all. And yet, they want to teach classes. They want to teach mediumship. They want to mentor people. They want to have master classes in mediumship. Join my classes. Join my academy. Join my scholastic blah, 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 right? Get the certificate for this. But they're not reading. Why aren't they reading? Do not go to anybody who's not actually doing the work. You have to be able to do the work. Would you go to a mechanic that sat in a chair and said, I'm a mechanic? Well, are you good? Like, yeah, I'm a great mechanic. I work on all sorts of cars. I work on cars all day long. Like, well, you're sitting in a chair. I don't see you working on any car. Well, if I had the opportunity, I would work on the cars, but I'm a really good mechanic. I don't think so. I'm not leaving my car there. I want to see somebody with grease on them. I want to see like somebody who's actually working or has a bunch of cars lined up at their gas station because they're working on them all day long, right? Should be no different with this work. So just be aware of that, okay? Again, before everybody goes bye-bye, don't go yet because I have something to say. I do have Zoom groups go up for the April one is this Thursday, I think. So that's sold out. I'll see a bunch of you there, hopefully. Hopefully everybody shows up. Then I have another one on, come on, where is it? May 24th. That's on a Sunday. I have 2 tickets left. It's a 10-person Zoom group. I have 2 spots left for that one. So if you get it, if you want to be a part of that, it's a Sunday morning. It's like 11 to 2. And it's going to be 3 hours of straight reading, okay? We have a lot of fun when we do those. So if you want to be a part of something fun on a Sunday, check it out. And I put up one for July. Wouldn't it be really smart if I wrote the date down? Jesus. Unbelievable. It's June something. Go check it out. Shoot. Wow, real organized. Something in June. Sometime in June, I'm doing another one. It's on a Sunday as well, okay? That one's empty. It's brand new. It's got 10 spots in it. So if you want to be part of that Zoom group, go check it out. But I think it's like Zoom 14th maybe. It's on a Sunday also. But it's in my link in my bio, okay? All right, who wants to ask me a last question? Fire away. Hi, Source. Okay. Brittany, have you read I'm assuming you meant skeptic? You wrote skeptical. Yes, I'm teasing you. Have you read a skeptical? Yes, I have read a skeptical. And I actually prefer to read skepticals. I like them. Believe it or not, sometimes they're more down to earth because I feel like the really over the top spiritual people are just thinking because they're so focused on the reading that they're going to get the best reading ever. And they have to work just as hard as everybody else to do the reading. And sometimes the skepticals are very like just whatever. They're like, yeah, that's factual. Boom, here it is. Yeah, that's that. And when you say like, all right, those 3 things go together, they're like, yeah. And then they go, oh, wait a minute. Those do go together. So it's kind of like they have that moment in their mind where they go, okay, you're making sense here, right? I'm not saying they become full-fledged, believers, but it definitely gets the gears turning a little bit. So I like them. June 14th, thank you. Thank you, BB. So June 14th, if you want to be a part of a Zoom group, go check it out. And then I have the live groups coming up in September. I have 4 live groups, one on Long Island, one in New Jersey, one in Pennsylvania, and one in Baltimore, Maryland. So those are in the bio as well, okay? I put out a newsletter a couple days ago for that, so I've sold a bunch of tickets to it, so that's cool. So those are it. We got private readings, we got Zoom groups coming up, and we have live groups coming up. And of course, I'll be doing stuff on here. What was that question? I just saw a good question. Oh, all right. I lost it. I'll try to go around to other places too. I want to see how these four go. And then I'll set things up for next year probably. But I appreciate you guys being here tonight. I hope this helped. I hope this made a difference. I know Sunday nights are sacred. So the fact that you're willing to spend an hour or so with it, with me, and talking about the work, please know it's appreciated. So I'll see you guys again next week, okay? Everybody have a great night. Enjoy your week. If you got a rough one coming up, just know you're not alone, okay? All right, everybody. Take care.